There we go. Glitch, glitch. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mike Morales. You are listening and watching Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels. I'm here in San Antonio, sequestered and quarantined, and that young man out there is
Rick Levy in Escondido, California.
You realize that by the time people watch this, we'll know the U.S. will be open and we'll be fine. So
hopefully, we're 6 weeks into quarantine now. I've given up on my hair.
You look like you're a little disheveled. You're not shaving anymore.
Yeah,
just those fingernails. Have you even clipped your
the hell with it all?
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally have acquired the last of the line of Adictivo. This is the extra Añejo, and that's the one that we've been missing. Now, for those of you,
I've had mine a little bit longer than Mike's had his.
Yeah, I just had mine delivered because Rick was lucky enough to get the entire line hand delivered to him. Well, we had ours shipped from the importer, Stoller Imports, and they had misshipped it, and they had sent two of the same. So anyway, if you've been watching,
so Stoller's the importer now?
Yeah, Stoller Imports is the new importer of Adictivo.
All right, so that would be the fourth importer now.
Oh, probably. They Stoller actually. It was I know on Facebook the Partida family posted it was a big to do that they were going with Stoller now, and we had Stoller was the same folks that was handling Mucha Liga at one point. But anyway. We fell all over ourselves. If you haven't seen that video yet, you probably will. This Adictivo, this is the extra Añejo Cristalino. So, but the one that we had missing was the extra Añejo. So now we're going to try that tonight. I have broken the seal off of mine here off camera because I had a real hard time with it last time. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna taste it first in our Stossel Jarritos, tell you what we sense and discern, and then we will give you all the particulars. So, yes,
it's got a really rich color.
Well, we nominated the brand right off the bat for brand of promise in the packaging category, and again, you'll notice this little top here kind of has a hard time staying on.
Right.
I don't know why.
Once you drink it down a bit, the top stays on better.
Okay.
So plan on spending some quality time with it when you first open it up.
Well, what I'm going to do, I poured it into my Stossel Jarrito for tequila. It's a beautiful color. It is.
So this is 7 years in French oak.
It's got those copper highlights. Have you noticed that? Look at how pretty that is.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful look.
In their website, it's a bright red on their website.
Well, I that explains it's got, like I said, copper highlights. It's you don't see that color very often in an extra añejo tequila. 7 years, huh?
7 years in French oak.
Wow.
Now. It doesn't
this
specifically say whether or not the French oak was previously used. We do know that the family there, Puerto de Hierro, they like to use barrels that were formerly used for red wine to get a sweeter character.
Well, that explains the color as well, probably, because it does have that, though, like I said, those red highlights. The last time I saw red highlights like this was with Dulce Vida in their 5-year extra añejo, which they age in Napa Valley barrels.
Right.
So that would make sense to me. And of course, Rick's going to go yank his.
Right.
Yeah. See, you notice the color range is almost the same. This one's still a bit deeper though. This one here. The Adictivo, and I'll be honest, that 5-year-old is very dry, but it's barrel strength as well, so it's a bit different. This one is not.
Yeah, this is 40%.
It's got a lovely nose.
Yeah, you can really pull out some of those French oak notes, like the
Yep.
dried fruit.
Yep. Wow, it's got like dried plums or raisins and
Right.
all the I don't get any baking spices, not so much. I get more of the dried fruit kind of thing. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful nose. It's almost a shame that that we liked the extra añejo cristalino because I didn't really want to like it because this is how it starts, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what it winds up looking in the cristalino. They have completely stripped it. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
it's naked, you know.
And well, it changes the character, and we're still warming up on that category,
Yeah.
and we were pleasantly surprised
Yes.
with this Cristalino.
Okay, so I got the barrel notes. It's a pretty nose.
It
I gotta
is.
say, I'm surprised the aromas coming out of there are actually very pleasant. Not super sweet or anything like that. It's not a cloying sweetness.
Yeah.
It's not flowery either. It's more
There's a
towards
hint of there's a hint of sweetness, like maybe some underlying vanilla or caramel. I
well,
would say that the French oak is really taking center stage here. And after 7 years in the barrel, you're not getting as much of the agave, if any, on
no,
the nose.
it's beautiful legs and tears. You know, it is clinging to the glass. Let's dive in. Let's see what this tastes like, man. Mm, 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 mm.
It's sweet on the front of the palate, and I'm probably picking up some of that red wine notes. But then, mid and on side palate towards the back, I'm picking up like bitter chocolate, um, and maybe a little bit of coffee.
A little bit. It's got a good medium to long finish. It actually, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting like cinnamon spice. I'm getting like a
Yeah,
maybe a hot cinnamon toward the rear, like you did.
right, exactly.
I will say that this is probably going to coat your palate. The more sips you take of this, the more it's going to. That's what happened, I think, with the añejo. Is it really after a while you could just taste it? You know, it wouldn't go away. You know, and that's what these are designed to do. You know, but it's not. You know what? I got like dark chocolate. Um, that dryness at the end really helps round out the super cloying, you know, the super sweet that we've had from this distillery before. You know,
Right,
it really
and some of the other
it
lines.
kind of I don't even want to say it softens it. It actually gives it the rough edges.
It's like a
It's like
counterpoint.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I am feeling a slight coating on the palate. So with additional sips, that's going to increase.
Well, I love the finish on this thing.
No,
If I
it
could,
goes great. It goes great in a Latin Manhattan.
I was going to ask you, have you mixed it? Because I know you mixed it.
Yeah, that's what's happening with this bottle.
So the bottom line is this is an extra añejo that is a mixable extra añejo. Because yeah, it's a I have had and you Rick we've had some tequilas coming out of this distillery and others where just they're cloyingly sweet. This one is actually tempered. It's still like you said, it's gonna coat your palate. But
And
I
I
like
think we had the same kind of reaction throughout the line as well.
yeah, I think so too. What do you think? Do you think this is an extra añejo worthy of a Brand of Promise nomination? Even though it kind of leans toward that sweet palate, do you think you think it'll stand up? Because I honestly, to me, the star of the line was, believe it or not, that Cristalino. To me, and I can't show it enough on screen because the difference is, it's a stark difference. You know, this is what this one starts out as.
Yeah.
And I think what I liked about the Cristalino, and I think you and I agreed, was that the stripping the color maybe even helped a little bit in the sweetness part of it, because
Right.
I felt more of the barrel characteristics than I'm getting with this one. Because I on the extra añejo, the more
And
of
I
this.
think I think the filtering uncovered more of the sort of spice accents in
Yeah,
the Cristalino.
I think so too. But what do you think? I'm open. You and I have had stuff that
I'm open to. In our competition, we're in our competition, we don't necessarily lean as much towards the
the sweeter side of the spectrum.
the sweeter side of the spectrum. So in the final tally, I'm not sure. I'm not against throwing it into the competition.
I think
And from this distillery, I think this is one of the better lines.
I do too. I do too. I agree with you there. I think because you and I have had a few from this particular distillery and the family, and I would say I didn't want to. Again, I didn't even want to like the Cristalino, but I really enjoyed it. And now, what do we know about price point? What do we know about the price point?
Yeah. So right now, you can probably find the 750 of the extra añejo around $89. And probably I think the MSRP might be up closer to just shy of 100. But you can find a range from like 89 to maybe 116 for this, depending on where you look. So if you can get it in like mid 90s to high 80s, then that's your bargain area right now for.
I think if I recall what we did last year, we tasted the entire line, you and I, of Torres Real, and they had an extra añejo. When it came to competition time, it shined in some parts of the competition, and it just completely was overshadowed by some of the other ones. But I believe that this one is kind of on par. I know we voted Torres Real in the extra añejo, even though it was more on the sweeter side of the spectrum, but it was respectable. And honestly, I think this one's gonna do well in the competition. I'll go ahead and give it a nomination.
Great.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised. I think you and I were both surprised on the entire line. It wasn't what we have been used to coming out of this distillery. So, yeah, I think it's a respectable entry in the extra añejo competition for this year. Don't know how it's going to do, because this is going to be the biggest year we've ever had.
Yeah. I gotta say, there's a big market out there for this profile.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
and if you enjoy sweeter tequilas, check this one out, because this one has a lot more character to it that you might not find in some of the tequilas that are really focusing on the sweetness.
Yeah. Like I said, I think you and I agree that the barreling, the French oak, the wine French oak barreling has added an extra layer of character, where ordinarily they completely, it goes completely the other direction. I like what they're doing I'm glad they're using the wine barrel, because I don't think I could handle this straight, with just the sweetness. It would, I like that finish at the end. I'm not particularly fond of the cloying, the sticking on the palate, but
Right.
Most people are used to that, so But yeah, I think it's a worthy entry. I think we're going to go with a Brand of Promise nominee in the Extra Añejo category. That was Adictivo. What is the distillery? Just so I know you mentioned it by name, but it is 1477, right?
It's at 1477 now, Puerto de Hierro. It used to be at 1560, Tequila Gonzalez Lara, the El Limon distillery, which is also in El Arenal. But Gildardo Partida Hermosito, he is, part of the Partida Hermosillo family out of 1477, and so I guess it's in essence come back home.
Yeah, and that's good. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's actually building what he considers the Castle of Castillo. There, he's been winning a lot of hardware. I mean, he'll go out on his own, and you may notice that some of these bottles will have medals.
All of my bottles have hardware on them.
Yeah, they all have hardware on them, and he's very proud of this was from WSWA, which every event so far has been canceled in Las Vegas. So the competition will probably go online.
And it's a high concept bottle too. There is I'm wondering if they drew inspiration from this bottle from something else. But what was really interesting is I was watching Better Call Saul. It is the prequel spin-off to Breaking Bad. And
they have a made-up tequila there, right?
Well, there was a scene in one of the recent episodes where one of the guys in the cartel, his name's escaping me right now. Anyway, what's that? Lalo, exactly. Yeah. So they're at Lalo's compound in Mexico, and he and one of the other guys are talking about having, I think, some scotch. But the bottle that they bring out looks exactly like the Adictivo bottle.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know. He might have gotten some product placement. I have no idea. That guy, that family, and especially this particular brand, has been throwing money at this brand. I mean, when he won those awards at WSWA, if you follow them on their social media, on their Facebook or Instagram, you may have seen he had a double booth at this show. Now, these shows are not cheap, ladies and gentlemen. In order to be at these trade shows, they're pricey. He had a double booth for this show and ran away with all kinds of medals. So, who knows? Maybe he got some product placement, but you don't have to call Saul. You just have to check us out. That's our take on Adictivo, the Extra Añejo, the XA. I'll just show that bottle one more time. It is quite you can't miss this bottle. If you go shopping for it, just look for that twisted I'm drunk bottle. And tell us what you think. If you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a comment. If you've had it someplace else, great. If you like it, if you don't like it, what do you mix it with? If you mix it, anything. If you're listening to us on Spotify or anywhere where you download your podcast, please subscribe, whatever you do. And follow Rick on his Instagram because he never posts anything there.
I haven't had time for Instagram.
Actually,
you're not going to find anything.
You know what he does? He takes pictures and then he texts them to me, and then I post them.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, look at Mike's pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, there you go. But in any case, like I said, just follow us on all of our channels. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio. That gentleman out there is
Rick Levy in Escondido.
You've been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media, all of our channels. Please follow us, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time we upload a video with Rick in it, you'll get notified. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely.